Hello guys, my name is Shantanu Vyas. Welcome back to Sports Angle. And how are you all doing today? I'm sure if you're a Manchester United fan, you are doing amazingly well because Raphael Varane is officially a Manchester United player. Now, when I heard this news, I had to pinch myself not once, not twice, but at least 5 times to know that this is not a dream. And I'm sure many Manchester United fans can relate out there. Now, Raphael Varane is probably one of the biggest players in the history of Real Madrid in the past decade or so because I feel this is one of the most successful decades they have had in modern football. And Raphael Varane has had been at the center of it. But that's his club side. For his national side, he has won the World Cup with France, so that makes him a stellar player. Now let's talk about two main things: why Manchester United went for Raphael Varane and how did they get him. So let's talk about that. Now let's talk about how Manchester United secured the signature of the French World Cup winner centre back Raphael Varane. So now Raphael Varane is no stranger to Manchester United fans, going back in 2011 where Sir Alex tried to sign him for £3 million and we ended up signing Phil Jones instead. Now 10 years later we have signed him, we have secured his signature for a substantial fee of £34 million, amounting up to £41 million with add-ons. So that's the past story, that's the current story. Now let's talk about how did this thing start, because not many would have hoped, sitting a year back that we would be signing Raphael Varane. Now, it started with November 2020 where he decided to change his agency to CAA base. Now CAA base is headquartered in England, and as per Fabrizio Romano said that whenever a player decides to change their agency to CAA base is that they are already paving their way to the Premier League and they're coming towards England because it's obviously because it's headquartered in the United Kingdom and it's headquartered in London, and its offices are very nearby to the Manchester United London office. So I think that is where the leveraging of the relationship started. That was November 2020. Cut to March 2021, where he kind of made it official that he wanted to move out of Madrid. He wanted to go somewhere else, and his first preferences was Manchester United. However, there were clubs like PSG, Chelsea, especially PSG. Being a French club, they wanted a French centre back, and probably in his prime were in the form of Raphael Varane, and they were aiming at him this window. However, Pochettino went for a more experienced centre back in Sergio Ramos and signed him for a free. Now from there on, Raphael Varane also made it very clear that his dream destination was Manchester United. You can see the smile on my face, when he said that. Such a good centre back, and this is why. The reason he chose Manchester United was obviously because he knows what the history is all about. He's also a boyhood fan of Rio Ferdinand. And there are like these photos making the rounds at the internet where his hairstyle is it's very similar to Rio Ferdinand because maybe he really idolized him or learned from his defending technique. So that's that about Raphael Varane. As to how did we sign him, but towards the end, obviously, as it got a bit stretched, Ed Woodward who went to his counterpart, which is Jose Angel Sanchez, who is the CEO of Real Madrid. He made a deal with him and closed it on the Monday morning of the 25th of July, and which is where everything was done, everything was closed, and which is where you heard the news break out. And signing him for that fee, you obviously know that there were a lot of intricate things like John Murtough, who's the sporting director, the football director of Manchester United, along with the technical director Darren Fletcher. They showed an entire presentation as to how the cultural system and the value is at Manchester United to that. To then Ed Woodward, working with Matt Judge and closing out the financial part of the deal. So it was a very well-worked system. Now Raphael Varane is officially a Manchester United player. He's raring to go. And now let's have a look why Manchester United went for him. There are certain intricate details and you need to pay attention for that. The reason why they went for him. Raphael Varane, I don't need to introduce him as a player. He's a world-class centre-back, has had probably a very successful career at Real Madrid, winning 4 Champions Leagues, 3 La Ligas, and 4 Club World Cups, and 4 UEFA Super Cups. So, I don't know. He's also called Champions League Varane, by his French teammates. And the reason why Manchester United bought him, one, is from a leadership point of view. He's 28-year-old. He's won so many trophies. You'll get that winner's mentality to the dressing room. To a very young dressing room which has not had much taste of the success which they deserve to be or which they ought to be, he will show them what it really takes to be that level of a champion and what it actually is meaning to be. Secondly, is more of from a tactical point, but before I start on that, there's a fun fact, Varane has played 14 finals in his career and he's won all 14 of them. Okay, now let's go on to the tactical part of it. The tactical part of it is basically, so Manchester United are going to be setting up in a 4-3-3 formation. Obviously he's going to be partnered with Harry Maguire. Victor Lindelof will make the way for Raphael Varane in that back line because Harry Maguire will not be benched. Obviously, he's the club captain and stuff like that. So Harry Maguire, when these two centre backs are there, Harry Maguire can go a bit ahead into the opposition's, somewhere near the opposition's box and between the midfield and can close down attacks from there. Varane's pace and his positional intelligence will allow him to cover for Maguire, and for any of those strikers who like to drop in deep spaces and make those runs and run behind the defender, he can tackle that. That is one tactical reason why he's been got on. He has an 80% winning aerial duel thing. So, Rio Ferdinand said that he has to be careful and all that. I don't think so. He's got a very good aerial game in him. He's got a very good interception and he can anticipate play from a very good angle. So that is really important. He's very good at covering fullbacks as well, and very good, most importantly, what is important in the Premier League is to defend in the wider areas, because you have more of the wider players, putting in crosses, and to stop that, Varane is the perfect particular player. Now, Manchester United last year obviously conceded a lot of goals, and for a top 4 team to concede so many goals is very unlikely. However, they leverage that through scoring. But if those many goals are reduced, probably they can score more points, and at the same time, get games from a very comfortable position. They don't have to really drag onto it till the last 80th or 90th minute. So Raphael Varane becomes a very important signing. But what will make the Raphael Varane signing even better? With a proper defensive midfielder who does not even have to let Harry Maguire cross that midfield line. If that happens, then scoring against Manchester United, all the best to all the strikers and the Premier League teams, it's very difficult, because unless and until there is not only will you have to overcome the defensive midfielder, you will also have to overcome Harry Maguire and then probably Raphael Varane. And then even if you overcome these two, and if Henderson or De Gea, who are quite decent in that one-on-one, so it's a strong defense. I think this is what Ole has done tactically. So really excited to see Manchester United play. I think, Maguire and Varane will start together against that Leeds game. Super excited for that. So that's all about the video is. I hope to make another video, where I am talking about, United signing that defensive midfielder. But fingers crossed, a lot of reports coming out saying that, unless and until we don't sell a player for a substantial fee, none of that will be considered. So let's see what the transfer pans out for us. I do expect in the next 2 weeks or so, we're going to see a lot of players moving out. If we get a good substantial amount of money, let's see, it could be anything. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching this video. Welcome to Manchester United, Raphael Varane. We are here to take care of you and hope you win stuff out here. We're always behind you and we always have your back. So cheers to him. Cheers to all the Manchester United fans. Congratulations, and let's start the season on a high. And also, like, share and subscribe, guys, please.